Pass?
Wala po nagsabi, ma'am.
Wala naman. Okay, sige. Hold on, ipo-pull off ko lang yung inyong attendance sheet. Akala ko naka-pull off na kanina, hindi pa pala. So today is 0611. Okay. Okay, Adonai,
Present po, ma'am.
Aguila, Alvarez, Angeles,
Present po.
Atienza.
Present po.
Si Badon ay nakisit in na. Barola,
Present po.
Batas, Bederico,
Present po.
Biscocho, Kalingasan, Cardenas,
Present po.
Katapang, Dimalibot,
Present po.
Driz,
Present po.
El Shahat,
Present, ma'am.
Endrinal,
Present po.
Esplana, Gamelia,
Present po, ma'am.
Generoso, wala din. How about Gida,
Present po, ma'am.
Gomez,
Present po.
andyan si Warren, Vincent,
Present po.
Joson,
Present po.
Liave,
Present po.
Magkamit,
Present po.
Malabanan, Manalo, Marikina,
Present po.
Mendoza, Menes,
Present po.
Montañez,
Present po.
Muñoz,
Present po.
Panopio.
Present po.
Andito na ba si Pantoja? Ramos,
Present po, ma'am.
Roma Santa,
Present po.
Romero,
Present po.
Saking,
Present po.
Seda. Ano kayang kinakain ni
Present po.
Saking? Sevilla,
Present po.
Valencia, so based dun sa mga pagsagot nyo, I think nasa inyo kayong mga bahay, ano? Tama ba? Wala kayo dito sa campus?
Yes po.
Okay. Yung mga hindi nakapag-attendance mamaya na, hindi ko sadya binanggit yung pangalan mo, Lazal, dahil ikaw ay nakita ko ng present kanina. So, allow me to present my screen. Anong gusto nyo? Sasabihin ko muna ang result ng midterm, mga score nyo, or diretso discussion na tayo?
Term daw po muna.
Score muna. Okay.
Opo, sabi po ni Walter.
Dal-dal. Okay. So, regarding with your score, generalizing it, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 has failed the midterm examination, and the rest of it passed the midterm examination. So, nagkamali ako ng una. Ang sabi ko, ay, sorry, mali pala ang aking tinitingnan. Sorry. Proud na proud ako magsabi ng result ng exam. Mali pala ang tinitingnan ko. Sorry ulit. So, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on. Let me try to check it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people failed the midterm examination. However, rest of it had passed the midterm examination. So the passing score is 60% of the total item of the test, which is 36 points. Kaya halos lahat kayo is nakapasa sa inyong midterm exam. So this is the score for Adonai, 50, Aguila, 31, Alvarez, 47, Angeles, 51, Atienza, 41, Badon, Kayla, 50, Barola 45, Batas 41, Bederico 47, Niña 55, Kalingasan 54, Cardenas 36, Katapang 43, De Castro 49, De Malibot 46, Driz 43, El Shahat 26. Regarding with this one, El Shahat, I just wanted to ask, if you did not try to draft or to write the last part, which is drafting your own poem. I tried to check it, but I did not see your poem in your answer sheet.
Ma'am, I wrote it, but
You wrote
I'm
it.
not sure if this is type of the poem because I never did poem in English before.
Okay, so regarding with this, I actually saw two parts of your answer there, but checking it or assessing it, it was under the category of an essay. It's not on the structure of a poem kasi. But I'll gonna try again to see if ever that I'll going to give you a points for it. So that is the reason why your points here is only 26. Next is Endrinal 42, Esplana 48, Gamelia 39, Generoso 46, Gida 48, Gomez 46, Warren 50, Hernandez 25, Joson 54, Lakbay, nasa 3109 na to, 45, Yave 47, Magkamit 35, Malabanan 44, Manalo 35, Marikina 48, Mendoza 39, Yumi 44, Montañez 40, Muñoz 37, Panopio 35, Pantoja 49, Ramos 37, Roma Santa 41, Romero 45, Saking 37, Seda 46, and Sevilla 41, Valencia 42. So that is the result of your midterm examination in this course. Next is regarding naman with your other deliverables, other scores. May isa sa inyong walang score for the performance task. Pero nakausap ko na din naman siya. Kaya okay na yan. So, yeah, I'll gonna return your midterm examination, your test paper on Friday. If ever that you do have a problem regarding with the points that I have given to you in the second part of your assessment, then you can come to me, explain it. If ever pwede pa nating mabago yung inyong points about sa inyong midterm examination. So, moving forward to our discussion for today, hindi ko pa naman ito na-discuss sa inyo, ano? Baka na-discuss ko na, tapos uulitin lang natin. Oh,
Hindi
7.
pa po.
Okay, hindi pa. Hold on. If merong tanong, para ma-address agad natin ang tanong nyo, please chat your or post your message here in the in-call messages in our Gmeet or just raise your hand. Okay, the presenter view. Okay, so mastering a literary analysis. So doing a literary analysis is not just like what you did in the first or in the initial part of the semester, what you submitted to me, your activity number 1, the literary analysis about Mabute. Because the literary analysis na gagawin nyo for your final examination should have or it should dissect all of the elements, literature elements, devices, the lenses that you need to include to your literary analysis. Your final examination is equivalent of 100 points. So hindi ako basta tatanggap ng basta-basta na lamang na literary analysis. That's why I decided na ituro sa inyo or just give you a glimpse or a basic knowledge of the different elements or devices that we need to see on your lit analysis. So first, before we discuss, you need to know what is literary analysis. So this literary analysis, this is a kind of a process on which you need to examine the components of a literary work to understand its structure and also the meaning of the story itself. Literary analysis begins with a close reading of the text. So during this process, you as a reader first, you need to consider why does the author use particular literary devices such as imagery, symbolism, and then you need to interpret all of that literary devices, the way on which the author used those literary devices, you need to interpret it based on how you understand the story doing this what you call close reading. Aside from that, you need to evaluate the message of the story and its impact to our or its real application in the real world. So, literary analysis, this is like looking into the details of the piece so that you will be able to unveil the numerous messages, the numerous reason on why does the author wrote the story. So this is accomplished by examining the literary devices, word choices, yung mga salita na ginamit ng author. Did the author use highfalutin words? Did the author use yung mga words na madali lang nating mabigyan ng kahulugan? Or kung sa Tagalog, gumamit ba ang author ng mga malalalim na salita? And also, you need to check the writing structure ng story na maa-assigned sa inyo. So, for your final examination, this is a group examination. Hindi ko siya ginawang individual. So, meaning, you need to accomplish this in a group and then isang literary analysis lamang yung isa-submit nyo sa akin. And isang story lang din ang naka-assign sa inyo. So going back, literary analysis, this is a kind of process that consistently address the question of why. Like what I have mentioned, ang unang-una nyong titingnan while you are reading the text or the story assigned to you is you need to see to it that you understand and you will going to answer the question, why does the author wrote this story? Yun yung first nyong titingnan. And obviously, you're not able to write a literary analysis without the knowledge about the different elements of literature. Like, for example, the plot, the setting, the characters, and the theme. Because these elements, um, this is one of the aspect that you need to examine in the story. Like, for example, the plot, how does the author use the plot? Like, did the author just proceed with the sequence? Like, for example, nagbigay ba ang author ng exposition, rising action, climax, or falling action? O kaya naman is yung denouement. So, next is the setting, the time and the place on which the story occurs. Next is the character. Who are the character of the story? Or what are the actions of the character in the story, the themes or the central idea or message of the story. Commonly, this is commonly when you try to search about the different example of literary analysis, this is the focus of their analysis. They just wanted to unveil the general theme or they just wanted to underscore the message at the message or the underlying message of the author that he wanted to convey to its reader. So aside from this, I also provide here a guide question that might gonna help you to for your initial draft of your literary analysis. So halimbawa, you wanted to focus on these elements, on the character, then what you need to do is to answer this question here and then organize it based on how you understand on how this the author used the character as the elements of his story. So next is for this one hindi ko na siya i-elaborate because I'll going to upload these materials in your GCash room para may mabalikan kayo. And mas makakatulong sa inyo if gagamitin niyo yung mga guide question here. I am not saying na ang gawin nyo lang sa inyong literary analysis is mag-focus sa isang elements. So what you're going to do here is you need to use you need to infuse as many elements as you can in doing your literary analysis. So I have here an example on how you're going to analyze the text or the story assigned to you, focusing on the elements specifically for the character. So like for example, kung babasahin nyo tong example here, you can see that the analyst directly examine the character's behavior, the interaction between the characters, Antley and Cherry. And then the analysts also incorporate on how the cultural factors influence their action. So, makikita nyo dito, yung first na nakaguhit, that is the interaction between the character. And yung second na nakaguhit, that is the societal standard incorporated by the analyst explaining on how those standards influence or affects the character. This type of analysis is like hitting two birds with one stone. The analyst only focuses on the character as an element of literature here, but he also incorporates the cultural approach or cultural lenses. So next is as the first step of your doing your analysis, you need to first read the assigned story. Reading your assigned story is a way for you to understand it. So you need to do is a close reading. Hindi mo lang siya basta babasahin lang. You need to read it several times for you to understand and to see the message of it. So you need to focus on the ideas that are being presented in the story or in the text. You need to see or you need to identify how does the author use the character development, how does the author infuse the plot and other elements of literature in the story. So while doing your close reading, please take notes of all of the information. Take notes of the unusual pattern na makikita ninyo while you are reading or while you are doing this process. And also, you need to take note of the writing technique of the author para meron kayong mababalikan once you started the initial draft of your literary analysis. So, looking aside from that, you do have or you need to have a basic knowledge or prior knowledge about these common literary devices. So these devices is usually used by the author in order to add some mysterious effect on their literature. May mga author na they do not want to directly deliver the message that they wanted to say through their literature. They utilize literary devices like for example symbolism, imagery, irony. They utilize it um to give a shade, to give a mysterious effect on their literature. Ayaw nilang i-direct lang na sasabihin. They wanted to, alam nyo yun, parang ginagawan pa nila nagawa pa sila ng hint, ng clue, parang nagbabasa ka lang ng detective type or detective theme of literature. So, making a literary analysis, it's like looking at the abstract painting. Hindi yung sa isang kita mo pa lang, alam mo na agad yung gustong iparating ng painter. So you need to really understand all of the aspect and factors. You need to search about the information about it para malaman mo kung ano yung nais iparating ng author sa iyo na that you can also include to your literary analysis. Next is doing your literary analysis, you might gonna consider the context. So the context, this refers to both of the cultural and historical background that relates to the text. During your literary analysis, you will want to consider how the author's background and the period on which the text or the piece of literature was written may have influenced the writing. So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, kailangan meron din kayong basic knowledge. You need to have a basic knowledge. You need to search about the background of the author. Like for example, doing your literary analysis about the kindergarten teacher. You're going to put this information like Ayung Thin is an educator. he teach in the University of Yangon, and no, not because. Having a background as an educator, Ayong Tin wrote the story of the kindergarten teacher to show the basis of being a great teacher. So, presenting that kind of information, makikita na meron kayong background knowledge about the story itself. Aside from that, you can also search about the information of the author. Like, for example, um, Rogelio Sicat, which wrote the story of Tata Celo after the post-colonial war, depicts the experiences. Halimbawa, merong experiences si Rogelio Sicat. Depicts his experiences during the post-colonial era. So you need to put or you need to include some information or basic information about the author. So yun yung tinatawag nating context. Based on the culture or based on the history during the time kung kailan naisulat yung piece or story na naka-assign sa inyo. Next is you need to also explore the theme. So the team, they serve as the focal point, the main idea, the message. Sometimes the analysts only focus on the theme. They just wanted to show the theme of a specific literature. But sometimes some analysts also focuses on the writing structure and also the devices used in the story para ma-unveil nila yung theme ng story. Kumbaga parang gusto nilang ipakita. They wanted to show the perspective of the writer through writing a literary analysis. So one of the significant part of doing your literary analysis is this. You need to formulate also your thesis statement. So, ano nga ba pag sinabi nating thesis statement? So, kung ang themes, that is your main idea, your thesis statement is your main claim. Kung ang themes, this actually shows the perspective of the writer, your thesis will gonna show your own perspective. Kasi ikaw na ang gagawa ng iyong sariling thesis statement. So, this statement that you will present in your analysis, it serve as the roadmap for you, for the analysis guiding both of you as well as your future leader. So after the part or the close reading part, you need to take note of all the essential elements of the text. You will begin to process the writing of your thesis statement. As an analyst, you need to have a strong thesis statement that states also the writer's perspective, but but it also allows you or allows this statement, it will gonna allows or it will going to give the statement which is a debatable thesis statement. Kumbaga, i-allow ng statement nyo or your statement will gonna open for a discussion, for a discourses. So given here, your thesis statement should be a debatable thesis statement. So thesis statement, this is also an argumentative, persuasive piece of writing. It must begin with a debatable thesis or claim. In other words, the thesis must be something that people could reasonably have differing opinions. So debatable thesis statement. Ano nga ba pag sinabi nating debatable thesis statement? How about you, John Ray Munoz? What do you mean by debatable? Munoz.
Ma'am, yung ano po, pinagtatalunan po.
Very good. So, in other words, in a short term, thesis statement or a debatable, um, that is a kind of a statement which is open for a discourses because some population or some people might gonna disagree with your statement and some will going to agree with your statement because of their differing opinions or differing perspective. One of the purpose of doing a literary analysis is you need to persuade other people to agree with what you have understand with the text assigned to you. That's why you need to formulate a thesis statement because your thesis statement, that is the framework, that is the backbone of your analysis. So I have here an example of a thesis statement. So it says here that at least 25% of the federal budget should be spent on limiting pollution. Um, why this statement is considered as a thesis statement? Just for me to assess if you really understand what is a thesis statement. Louise, Katapang Louise. Mark Louise Katapang, andyan ka pa ba? Ayaw gumana ng mic. Okay. Next is, ayaw daw gumana ng mic ni Luis. Reggie Cardenas. Aba nga, tunay ba talaga? Okay lang. Next is Reggie.
Yung parang main idea po siya.
Yes, this is a main idea. Kaya nga siya tinawag na thesis statement. My question is, why this, bakit yung statement na to is considered as a debatable thesis statement?
Ma'am, pwede pong magbago o hindi po. Parang, yun lang po, ma'am. Maaari pong magbago.
Maaring magbago alin? Yung main idea.
Opo, ma'am.
Okay, so who wants to help Reggie to understand bakit ito naging debatable thesis statement? Anyone? Yes. Hold on lang. Edsel?
Ma'am, for others po, pwede pong yung federal budget po ay maging 20% lang po or 30%, ganun po.
Okay, very good. So, in some instances, when other people read this statement, they might gonna disagree, or they might gonna disagree with the 25% being put or being spent on limiting a pollution. Pwedeng sabi nila, bakit ilalagay natin sa environment yung 25% ng ating pera? Why not putting it onto the educational sector or putting it to our economy? So some people naman might gonna say, bakit 25% lang? Bakit hindi na lang gawin nating 10% since sobrang nasisira na ang ating environment. So meaning this statement actually open a discourses. It was open for a discussion kasi hindi lahat ng tao mag-a-agree sa statement na ito. So that is a debatable thesis statement. Naiintindihan na ba? Reggie? Okay, so I have here also an example of a non-debatable thesis statement. Based on this example, hindi na ako magtatawag kasi sobrang obvious na. So this is a non-debatable thesis statement because this is actually a true statement. So the general population will going to agree with this, which is pollution is indeed bad for our environment. So this kind of a statement is not open for a discussion, and this is not a debatable thesis statement. Since naiintindihan nyo na kung anong ibig sabihin or the difference between the non-debatable and debatable thesis statement, then I am expecting na hindi ako makakita ng gantong klaseng thesis statement. I mean, ng non-debatable thesis statement from your literary analysis. Since you have already know this, since you have already formulated your thesis statement, then you need to have the supporting details, the supporting information for your thesis. Hindi porket may claim na kayo, wala nang evidences. So, sinong maniniwala sa inyo? Sino yung mapapersuade nyo na maniwala sa inyo without presenting an evidences that will going to support your thesis statement? So, the evidences, ang tanong, ma'am, saan po kami kukuha ng evidences? So, number one, you can get your evidences from the story assigned to you. Number two, you can search specific information from the internet, making sure that you cited it correctly. You can utilize the APA or MLA format, But make sure na all of the references, you need to put it at the, or you need to create a special section in your literary analysis, like at the end of your literary analysis, para doon nyo i-compile lahat ng references ninyo na kinuhanan nyo ng information. So, ano-ano po ba yung mga tinatawag nating evidences or support for our thesis statement? These are the quotation, the definition, the paraphrased type or the paraphrased definition from the internet or from the secondary or different sources that is directly related or closely related to your claim or to your thesis statement. And then after putting an evidence that will going to support your thesis statement, you also need to explain how does this evidence supported my thesis statement, or what is the significance of these evidences in my literary analysis. And also you need to reevaluate your evidences if your evidences actually contributes to the overall meaning of the text, or overall meaning of your, or overall significance of your literary analysis. So since meron na kayong thesis statement, meron na kayong supporting details, now this is the time for you to initially draft your literary analysis. It has three parts, which is the introduction, the body paragraphs, and the conclusion. So ano nga ba yung makikita natin dapat sa inyong introduction? So in your introduction, you may include the background information of the author, the background information of the story, as well as your thesis statement. So introduction pa lang, ando na yung thesis statement. So paano makikita ni ma'am yung inyong thesis statement? You need to highlight your thesis statement. Gagawin nyo siyang, you're going to use a bold format para hindi ko na siya hahanapin pa. Unang tingin ko pa lang yun ang inyong thesis statement. So as you can see, I have here an example of an introductory part of a literary analysis. As you notice, makikita nyo na the analyst of this analysis actually included the basic information of the author, the work which is being analyzed, and also the transition. It was actually it has a transition into the clear, debatable, and specific thesis statement. So this story is written by Ernest Hemingway, The Old Man and the Sea. So, dun din sa first part, sa introductory part, the author also include the stylistic style, the text structure, like a basic information about the text structure of the story. Next is the body paragraphs. So, in the body paragraphs, doon makikita yung mga evidences na na-compile nyo, yung mga evidences na nakuha nyo from the internet. So, but if you're going to present like kunwari four evidences, then your body paragraph or the body of your literary analysis should compose of four paragraphs. One is to one. One evidence, one paragraph. So in a paragraph, ito yung dapat makikita. We have here the topic sentence or yung main evidence ninyo. And then you need to put the evidences, yung quotation or a direct a direct excerpt from the story or a support to your main idea. And next, your own analysis. This is the part on which you're going to explain on how your evidence actually supported your main claim or your thesis statement. So this analysis is based on your own words, on your own understanding. And next naman is the transition. Make sure that you can link the current paragraph after the next paragraph by using transitional words or connecting words. So making sure na all of the information is connected with each other. So baka may magtanong dyan, ma'am, pag po ba kami kumuha sa internet ng evidence, do we need or ika-copy and paste lang po ba namin to? The answer is no. Because when you do that, then you commit the act of plagiarism. Although nag-cite kayo, like according to Angeles 2023, blah, 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 and then hindi nyo naman siya pinara-praise, once you check it with a plagiarism detector tool, and then still, mara-reflect pa din doon na kinopy and paste nyo lang siya from the internet. So, all you need to do is to paraphrase it in your own word, kung paano nyo siya naintindihan. Okay? Naiintindihan po ba yon?
Yes po.
With regards to your literary analysis pala, ang ipapasa ko is sa both the hard copy and the soft copy. Because the soft copy, kailangan ko siyang i-run using a Turnitin to check the plagiarism percentage of your analysis. Next, wait lang pala. Pag-iisipan ko pala yung hard copy. So baka soft copy pa rin pala talaga ipapasa ko sa inyo. Next is, I have here an example of a body paragraph. This is just a one evidence ha. Actually, yung pinagkuhanan ko ng literary analysis na ito, sobrang haba niya, ang daming evidences. But I just focus on this part because it actually directly related to the claims kung saan, as you can see, based on Hemingway's or based on the thesis statement, it talks about the ethical struggle of a human, as well as incorporating it with the technique or writing technique of the author, which is Ernest Hemingway. Then, as you can see here in this part, the analyst of this analysis actually says that the main character has an ethical conflict developed all throughout or reflected all throughout of the story, followed by a specific evidence from the story as a specific excerpt. So, this excerpt directly supported the claims of this analyst. So, dapat ganyan yung makikita ko sa inyo. Hindi kayo mag-present ng evidences na hindi related sa sinasabi ninyo. Next is the conclusion. So, the conclusion paragraph, it needs, anong makikita dapat natin? You need to revisit your thesis statement and provides the reader with a sense of closure. So, paano gagawin yon? You need to ties everything together. In a simple term, your conclusion is the summary of all of the data, the information that you includes to your introduction and your body paragraph, plus the main message that you unveil from the story. So, I have here an example. As you can see, thus praise na merong black line na naka-underline na black, that is the paraphrased or reiterate version of the thesis statement. And then the line or the one which has an underline the red color, that is the main theme unveiled by the analyst from the story of Hemingway. So paano po ba namin isasama yung thesis statement sa conclusion? Kailangan po ba copy and pasted lang? The answer is no. You need to paraphrase your thesis statement. Hindi nyo siya ika-copy and paste or ida-direct lang na ilalagay sa inyong conclusion. You need to just put the thought of your thesis statement, included it into your conclusion, plus the other information or evidences from the body paragraph. So, kailangan nyo lang siyang pagsama-samahin, i-summarize, and that is your conclusion. So overall, just like what I have mentioned, literary analysis, it provides your deeper understanding of the work. Hindi lang siya pang surface level. This is a kind of a work on which you really understand the text assigned to you in a deep manner. So you need to dissect all of the elements, the devices, the theme, the character, all of that. You need to dissect it and turn it into into how you understand the story, and then draft your literary analysis based on it. So you need to use your critical thinking skills. You need to use your organizational skills. You need to organize all of the information na makikita ninyo doon sa inyong sa text or sa story na naka-assigned sa inyo. So yun lang. Naiintindihan ba kung paano gumawa ng literary analysis? Kung ano-ano yung mga kasama kapag nagsulat ng literary analysis?
Yes po.
So, si Warren lang at si Lazel. Okay, so wag kayong mag-alala. I will going to send or i-upload ko yung materials na to sa inyong G-Classroom para meron kayong mabalikan. And magpo-provide din ako ng sample ng literary analysis para meron kayong guide question, ibibigay ko na din, and the format of your literary analysis para hindi na kayo mamurama. So, ang gagawin niyo na lang is mag-draft, gumawa ng inyong analysis. So since we have already done with this, let's move on and discuss the different literary approaches or lenses na pwede niyong gamitin during your analyzation. So, with regards to the literary approaches, this is just a review. I just wanted to add some information on how you can use or you can infuse these lenses in doing your literary analysis because this is also one of my criteria para mabigyan ko kayo ng mataas-taas na grade para sa inyong literary analysis. So first, what is literary approaches? This is the kind of a method or a strategy used by you. So, in order for you to analyze and understand the literary text, there are several literary approaches here. The first one is a gender criticism. So, this kind of approach, it was originally an offshoot of the feminist movement. Gender criticism, however, the gender criticism today, it actually do not focus on the feminist literature or literary criticism, but it also include the masculinist approach, which was recently advocated by Robert Bly. So, gender criticism, the main aim of these lenses is for you to see the sexual identity between men and women and to analyze their action based on the societal standard that limits their action in a setting of the story. So, I have here an example. Aware kayo sa story of Mabute by Edrosa Matute, on which I just share it, um the definition of the feminism. Why? Because I just wanted to make sure that my reader um will have a basic knowledge about what is feminism para alam nila kung ano yung lenses na gamit ko while analyzing the story of Mabute. So doing so, I included the citation here kung sino yung nagsabi ng definition na to, and also incorporated the theme of the story just to make sure na makikita ng mga reader or ng mambabasa ko na in-infuse ko ang feminism in analyzing this story. So like for example, after defining feminism, I actually included this phrase, which is the story depicts feminism through the character of a woman who remains strong regardless of the pains and that she experienced within the story. So um because feminism, it focuses on the action of the woman within the story based on the societal standard evident on the setting of the story. So kaya feminism yung ginamit ko for the story of Mabuti dahil this is the much applicable lenses in analyzing the story of Mabuti. So next is based on the masculinist naman, kung ang feminism looking at the perspective of a woman as a character, ang masculinist naman is syempre looking at the perspective of a man as a character of the story, because the main goal of the gender criticism is to prevent sexist interpretation by the reader. They are promoting sexual equality here. So, yun yung pinaka main goal when you are utilizing a gender criticism approach. Next is a cultural approach. This is self-explanatory, but as a tips or advice, before you use this lens, you need to know the culture of the specific place kung saan nag-originates yung story na i-analyze nyo. Like for example, i-analyze yung story from Myanmar. Then you need to study first the culture in Myanmar. So this is the way for you to understand the main or the message of the story. Like what we have done during our discussion about the cherished daughter. Um, in order for us to understand the action of the character, the mother, in the poem, we actually understand or we actually studied about the culture of Vietnam. So because of that, naiwasan natin or we did not judge the mother because of the mother's action. Why? Because the action of the mother is just an example, or it's show that the mother is just obeying the cultural standard in Vietnam. So the main goal of cultural approach is to prevent um a negative cultural relativism. Kumbaga, judging the culture of a specific place based on our cultural standard. So, meaning, hindi mo pwedeng i-judge ang culture ng Vietnam based sa culture mo dito sa Pilipinas. Because they have a differing, or they have a different culture there. Next is historical approach, just like a cultural approach. Kailangan din meron kayong basic knowledge about the history, the events happened, or the events that influenced the author kung bakit niya sinulat yung story. Like for example, the Khaki Coat. So why does Nathian wrote the story of the Khaki Coat? Because Nathian experienced the Vietnam War. Nathian saw the impact or the aftermath of Vietnam War towards the Vietnamese people. So, ganun din kapag ginamit nyo yung new historicism, kailangan meron kayong background information about the history of the specific place on which the literature assigned to you originated. Next is, this is an example of a new historicism approach applied to the story of Tata Selo by Rogelio Sicat. So, in here, I just says that Sicat sees the misfortune of the convicts that is ignored by authorities and injured by the prisoner. This is the undue physical and emotional attacks by the prison warden which Tata Selo has failed to be exempted from. So, with regards to this, to my main claim, I just supported it with this evidence from the story kung saan kung babasahin nyo to, it was directly related to my main claim. Sinabi ko lang dito na since Rogelio Sicat wrote this story during the post-colonial war and colonial era in the Philippines, and during that time, bullying the prisoner by the warden or the policeman is rampant in our country. That's why it actually inspired Rogelio Sicat to wrote the story of Tata Selo. Next is the archetypal criticism. The archetypal, this it actually a literal meaning of archetypal is pattern. Why? Because when you try to use this approach, you need to see the pattern occur within the story. So this concept can be applied to literature through the identification of the recurring concept or the elements of the poetry or the prose that you are analyzing for. So, like for example, when you read a story about a birth, death, and rebirth. So you can use the archetypal criticism in explaining why does the author use those themes, that the birth, the birth, death, and rebirth. So in some cases, or commonly, this approach is applied or used in analyzing those literature which is a religious themed story, because sometimes the author actually patterned the life of the main character with the life of Jesus Christ. 'Di ba yung life ni Jesus Christ, birth, then death, and then rebirth. So they are archetypal is commonly used in analyzing a religious themed literature. So wag na kayo magpo-focus dito sa archetypal, because hindi naman I based on the assigned i-assign kong story sa inyo is wala naman dong religious themed story. Next and last is the formalism. And this one naman, we have already discussed about it kung natandaan nyo during the time na nag-analyze tayo ng story of Tata Selo, on which the author or as an analyst, hindi kayo magpo-focus, or you will not gonna focus on the main idea or the theme of the story, but you are focusing on the text structure, the word of choice, the devices used by the author. So, yun lang yung titingnan ninyo. But hindi nyo titingnan yung general theme na gustong iparating ng author. So, that is a formalist or the new criticism. So, I have an example here with regards to the story of Tata Selo. Riholyo Sikat utilized descriptive words or imagery to help the readers in imagining the setting of the story. because the readers imagine the setting of the story, it actually evoke the emotion of the readers towards the main character, which is Tata Selo. Aside from that, gumamit din si Rogelio Sikat ng repetition, on which it also add an emotional appeal to the story itself. So yun yung ganun yung gagamitin yung mga lenses on analyzing your that's the text or the story assigned to you. So as much as you can pwede naman kayong gumamit ng isa lang na literary approach or literary lenses. 1:1. Okay lang naman na damihan ninyo pero mahihirapan kayo. Maliban pala kapag ang ginamit nyo ay cultural approach, pwedeng nag-overlap kasi yung cultural approach and historical approach because they are related to each other. So pag cultural approach yung ginamit nyo, pwede ring magkaroon or magkaroon ng or ma-infuse yung historical approach sa inyong literary analysis. So all in all, that is what we have for the different literary approaches. Naintindihan po ba yung mga lenses na pwede nyong magamit sa inyong literary analysis?
Yes.
Okay, so yan lang yung meron tayo for today or our agenda for today. About sa inyong final examination, the instruction of it, ipoprovide ko yan sa inyo during our face-to-face class sa amphitheater. So make sure na present kayong lahat doon. Same group with your semestral project. Kung anong group nyo sa inyong semestral project, yun na rin sa inyong final exam. And then, the criteria, i-discuss ko din siya doon. As well as, ano pa ba ang kailangan kong sabihin sa inyo? Yeah, ibabalik ko sa inyo yung inyong midterm examination din sa Friday. So make sure na a-attend kayo on our face-to-face class on Friday. And by next week, although sinabi ko na online discussion ang mangyayari sa atin, but I think based on my assessment this past few days, I think I need to discuss the remaining topics of the final exam pa rin. Since nakikita ko naman na although nagkakaroon tayo ng meeting, still nagagawa pa din naman yung project beyond our class hour. So, kamusta nga pala ang inyong semestral project, Lazel?
Ma'am, nakapag-assign na po kami ng mga parts po.
On it na. Okay,
Yes
sige.
po.
Thank you so much for that update. So again, kahit it's already 4:53, papakawalan ko na kayo. If you have a question about it, you can yes, Alvin.
Miss, hello po. May nagpapatanong lang po if doon daw po ba sa midterms score ay kung kasama na daw po yung mga plus points doon.
Nakuha ko ba yung plus points ninyo? Pala?
Miss, ang ano po ay sabi niyo po ay isulat
Sa test paper.
yes po.
Oo. Ay, oo, kayo yung section na yon yung may mga plus 15.
Yes
Tama
po.
ba?
7 po.
Hindi ko pa siya sinama.
Okay po. Tapos
Pero
may isa
nasa akin pa naman test paper nyo, 'di ba? Pwede ko pa naman siyang isama later. Akala ko kasi nakuha ko na yung points nyo. Sa dami nyo kasi, akala ko nakuha ko na yung points nyo and naisama ko na siya. Pero, book, okay, gotcha. So, ano pa yun, Alvin?
tapos about naman po sa deadline po ng performance task. To kailan ga po talaga 'yon?
November 11.
Okay po. Thank
Nakalagay
you.
po yun dun sa instruction. I-visit ko nga kung,
Okay.
yeah, nakalagay doon, due date November 11, end of date. The link must be submitted sa inyong G Classroom. So, tapos na ba kayo?
Sa amin pong group ay nasa editing na po kami.
Okay, hanggang November 11 pa naman. Kaya ko siya ini-adjust kasi nagkaroon ng bagyuhan. Dapat yun ay this coming Friday. And nawalan kayo ng pasok nung week 10. Kaya ko siya ini-adjust. So, hold on lang ha. I-note ko lang yung plus point. Yes, Trisha. Grabe, ang daming lamok. Yes, Trisha? Hindi kita rinig. Trisha, Trisha, pwede mo na lang i-comment or i-message. Okay. Batas or Jeremy. Ano yun?
Present din po. Na-late lang din po.
Ang dami pong lamok. Kanina pang nangangagat eh. And then si Trisha. Okay, so okay na. Bale yung plus points and then nasagot ko na naman ang inyong... Yung iba bang nakataas, same concern with Trisha? Hold on nga. Sinong may mga plus? Ipa-plus ko na ngayon. Baka malimutan ko pa mamaya. Meron pa naman tayong 4 minutes. Agila. Okay, 20. Next is, hindi ko pa makita ang mga pangalan ng mga to. Banggitin na lang ha, Trisha. Is plus 5, Manalo, plus 10. Next, Robert Panopio. 15. Sino ba to? Mamaya ka, Barola, Panopio, Robert. Pwede naman kayo mag-open ng mic.
Ako po, ma'am.
Ilan?
15 po.
15.
Yes po.
Next. Jeremy Patas. Jeremy. Valerie.
15 po, ma'am.
Hold on. May klase ba kayo after this?
Saka na po.
Wait lang. May gagawin lang akong mabilis. Saan yung admin? Class record, source, open. What? Next, Romero.
10 po, ma'am.
Next, Warren.
Plus 5 lang po.
Russell.
18 po.
Next, Adam.
15, ma'am.
Next, Ernest.
Ma'am, 5 po.
Okay. Alvin, ano yun?
Meron din po ako, 15 po.
Barola. Okay na ang iyo, Agila. Nai-add ko na kanina. Okay. So, okay na lahat. Nai-add ko na yung mga plus ninyo. But, i-revisit ko din yung inyong mga test paper. Next is, wala na bang concern? Attendance okay na? So, yun lang. Again, thank you so much sa pag-attend on our class today and see you on Friday. Bye for now.